Hey guys, here we go. We got some girder steel. Haven't seen me do this in a while, so let's have at it. Well, what I got was multiple links nested together. The total load weight is only 18,000, so I didn't have to worry about going to spread or anything like that. But I want to show you what I did. And I had a chain wrap in 4 places, 3/8 chains, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't have any problems with anything moving. Now it's up against the step, I mean it's touching in one spot there, so as far as anything going forward, I didn't really worry about that, but I also want to make sure that everything else is trapped. So that's what I tried to make sure, that each piece that was nested had its own trap chain. So as you can see, it goes underneath, and I opted, instead of having the chains coming down this way, I just went ahead with them laying down straight down, and it's just a neutral pull that way. But they are completely wrapped. I had just enough. Now if I went up through and over here, I wouldn't have had enough chain back here on the taller pieces. I just barely made it, so I used the chain pockets here. I've got 4 of those. So I got one set here, and then a nested set, another nested set, and the nested set in the rear. So as far as I can tell, everything should be fine. You can see there's a little bit of gravel there. I swept out what I could sweep, and what I may do as a matter of course right towards the end here, just for happiness, is I may put a trap chain of even just a little 5/16 just to keep any sliding, which I don't think, but going uphill I want to make sure that that gets squared away too, or going up and over. So I may do that, and I can go right up through here and over to that corner and down to this corner. So I may do that as an added extra. So let's go do that. The more I look at it, I want to be completely happy. I don't have to go but 600 miles, but it doesn't matter. I want to make sure that none of these pieces are going to move. So if this wrap happens to change, then I don't want to have anything doing any sliding. Most of the time it's going to go forward, but if I'm going uphill on a heavy grade and I'm going through all that, I'm going down to Augusta, so I will have some grades. I want to make sure that I don't have any problems. So I'm going to do one more, and we'll come back here in just a minute, but you'll see every piece of that is covered by strap has the major strap covers, and you know, as far as corner protectors, these are the big thick ones that somebody gave me a bundle of them. He didn't want them anymore. He was changing trailer types, and he said, here, have at it. So as far as this was supposed to be, it's a 41-foot bottom on this 51 step. So my hangover is probably about 17, 18 inches, something like that is what I was measuring earlier. And that's not bad. That's not going to be an issue at all. My regular strap twist, don't have to worry about flopping or anything. No abrasion there. And then of course I've cut the abrasion risk down and cutting a strap by using these, and they're pretty good and thick. Just want to make sure that when you have this kind of situation that the strap's not touching here. So let's do this other one. I'll come back and we'll do another little part. Well, it's part 2, and my OCD kicked in like crazy. So when I was looking at this, and I thought, you know, it just wouldn't hurt. Go ahead and do another trap chain right here. So that's what I did. This piece will help keep that squared away, and there's another nested set there, but I think it's going to be fine. I was mostly worried about this one, so I had less room, so I had to go over here up and over on an angle. That's what I did on the other one. You see it way up there, and come in and crossed it down, and I only had this pocket. That's all I had left. I could come over here, but I didn't want to be pushing anything. I just wanted it to be trapped. So that's what I did, and it's on there pretty good. what we got up here. And that's what helps, you know, do the second look, you know. If you don't have that warm, fuzzy, you know, feeling, throw some more shit on there. So that's pretty squared away. Now, this was a cut edge. This is fabricated, so you have to watch. See what the finished edge was? All this was ground down for a reason. So I didn't want to ding it, even though there was no protection called for, and that's just common sense. So they've got drills, holes, they've got angles, you know, 45 angles that are ground down for, you know, for a reason. So why piss them off? You know, don't screw up the stuff of the customer. So it was a special order. We don't want to have a problem. So everything should be satisfactory. They probably look at me and go, damn, dude, got enough shit on there? Well, yeah. And if not, we'll throw some more. Sorry about the wind, but that. But I think everybody should be happy. When you look at this, if it's not going to come through the step, obviously. If it does slide, it'll hit that chain, which I doubt because it's nested. This one's nested right over the top of it, so that's why I held back and put one there. So I just had to look at but this one was on the outside of that one, so you have to look up, down, side to side, forward and back. And that's what the laws say to prevent freight movement in any direction. So you got to look at them all. Jump around, look, see what the hell's going on. Make it to where you got the happy feeling, you know. I got tons of time. Freight's been sucking bad. And I refuse to haul $1.39 crap. So, you know, I just refuse. I'm not going to reward somebody with my presence. And nobody else is going to either. They've all been bitching, you know. It's just been a bad start to the year. So I've got some good loads. I mean, they're good old-fashioned working loads for a decent rate, and I'll just do those, and I'm not going to bitch. I just want to pay the bills. I don't care. You know, it's a living, so you know, nobody's trying to get rich, and that's one of the biggest jokes. Rich in trucking? Well, if you were on team and you had a dedicated lane and that, and like some of those folks that Ford stuff, those people just killed it. You know, they paid a lot more in Texas, but you know, but this stuff pays the bills, and this is the bread and butter of platform, is some of this kind of stuff. It's great. These folks are great, super friendly, and we'll just see you on the road.